right, all right. Oh, look at that shirt. Look at that shirt.
Is this not like the best show ever?
Oh, it's so good. I enjoy watching it so much.
I texted you yesterday. I'm like, hey, we're not recording tonight, are we? Because I haven't watched it. I'm so glad you didn't say nothing because
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
right. I know.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot to discuss.
Damn.
A lot to discuss. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Let me get over to here. We don't want anybody getting upset.
Oh, yeah.
And then watching it and saying, hey, you didn't tell me you were gonna spoil things.
Yeah.
But let's put that up there. Well, I would, if somebody did not put a spoiler alert up and I watched something, and it's happened to me before, but I'd rather at least know and I'm buying into it.
Oh, yeah. I get it.
Tulsa King season 2, episode 6, episode is titled The Navigator.
The Navigator.
And for very good reason.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into in a moment. Want to just dive right in? Want to catch up on anything?
I don't know.
I know the Mets are out. Let's rip that Band-Aid off. Yep, the Mets are out. They got beat by the Dodgers. So the World Series is the Dodgers and the New York Skankies.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier that they went as far as they did. It was not expected. It was a fun season, exciting season. So we look forward to more next year. That's all I could do. But now, Dodgers, Skankies. I don't know, man. I don't want one to win over the other, so I don't really care.
Well, like I said, I've always, I've been a Dodgers fan as long as, for a very long time. And that was because the Dodgers always played the Yankees in the World Series, which brings me back to my younger days, remembering watching the Dodgers-Yankees World Series with my grandfather, which the memories just come flooding back.
Sure, yeah.
And, was it Ronce, Steve Garvey, Reggie Smith.
Yeah. Steve Garvey. Real quick story about Steve Garvey. My dad, myself, my uncle, and my cousin went to see the Mets Dodgers at Shea Stadium at some point in the mid-'70s.
Okay.
I don't remember when it was. And my uncle lost his wallet. So we had to go downstairs into like the caverns of Shea Stadium to the security office to see if somebody turned in his wallet.
Yeah.
And we're down there, and out of the door swings open. Out walks Steve Garvey and Tom Seaver.
Come on.
Growing up, I was the biggest Tom Seaver fan. I almost had a stroke.
My God. Tony, I'll go ahead and finish your story and I'll finish.
No, I'm just saying that's pretty much the end of the story because I couldn't believe they came walking out. I'm like hitting my father on the arm. I'm like Bob, look. And they just, said hi like this. And now, granted, this was way back when we didn't have, phones that had cameras with us every second of the day.
Right.
So we didn't have a camera, but they said hi to me. So my cousin and I were very excited.
I bet when I coached my son in Little League from all the way up into Babe Ruth, and I was a pitcher and a catcher, but whenever I was teaching the kids how to pitch, I would tell them, I said, go on YouTube and look up Tom Seaver. I said, I know the name is going to mean nothing to you at this point because of your age, but if you look at his left knee.
Oh, it was on the dirt of the mound.
Yes.
Every time.
I said, that will go to show you that the pitching isn't all in the arm.
Mm-mm.
Your pitching comes from your legs, and it's
his legs were probably this big.
Yeah,
he was pushing off that rubber, and he was down so low that the velocity must have been ridiculous.
So the force that you can achieve through your legs pushing up through your torso, and then your arm is the whip. I said, just go YouTube Tom Seaver. I said, you cannot find other than maybe Nolan Ryan. These guys were just the force you generate from your legs. I said, that's a perfect example. Because these kids, they get up there and they're like just throwing all arm. I said, you're gonna you're going to be 18 years old and your shoulder's going to be gone.
Oh yeah, 2-3 years tops, and they have no rotator cuff, they have no
Yeah.
elbow, they have nothing. So,
So you got to
but
learn
yeah,
how to
so
generate
my
it.
Mets are out, but like you said, you have had an appreciation for the Dodgers for a long time, so I will
Yeah.
root for them for you because I'm damn well not rooting for the Skankies.
No, I will
So
not root for the Yankees.
I
Although I
yeah,
did one year, I don't remember what World Series it was, but I remember Jimmy Key was on the Yankees at this time because he had come over from the Rangers, and that was actually the last World Series I had watched with my grandfather, and
oh really?
Jimmy Key was pitching, and they lost that game, but I was rooting so hard for the Yankees because I was like, I wanted them to win for my grandfather,
Right.
because he was a diehard Yankees fan. So, matter of fact, I
Crazy.
still have his Yankees hat, his baseball hat in my shop.
Oh really?
Yep. Still
That's
smells
funny.
like him. Yep.
That's
I
awesome.
love it. I
Awesome.
go, Grandpa,
So yeah,
I
so
miss you,
that'll
Grandpa.
start. Let's see here. So today that'll start on Friday, October 25th.
Looking
World
forward to it.
Series. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
And then, as everybody knows, this past Sunday was Tulsa King season 2, episode 6, Navigator. So let's dive right in. I guess it started off with Dwight at the table with the daughter and the sister, saying he had to go to Atlanta
Yes.
to have a sit down, and acted surprised that Tina knew what a sit down was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty funny. He
You
thinks
sit
he
down,
thinks in his
Dad?
head he thinks in his head somehow like she was just so innocent and naive, like she has no idea.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But so that was that. They were gonna go to Atlanta.
What did sister say? What, you don't think she grew up here?
Yeah, I know. Exactly. The sister's like, where were you? I mean, come on. Tina's pretty funny. I like her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's see. So they set up the sit down in Atlanta. And Chicky and Vince were at the airport to get on the plane and go to Atlanta. And Chicky has a gun in his ankle holster. Smart idea. Such a goon.
All right, you can see where this is headed, right?
Oh yeah.
With Chicky and
Vince.
Vince.
Yeah.
This is gonna explode.
Well, it was also, I mean, we'll skip ahead just for the sake of the story. It was said at the sit down, I heard that New York got weak when the father died. I didn't realize it was this week.
Yeah.
And that's going to hit a lot. That's going to hit home for him. Like he knows Chicky had something to do with the boss not being around. He knows he killed him.
Mm-hmm.
He also knows that Chicky's not as strong as the family was run.
Yeah.
Now the Vince guy was just a captain, but he wants the family to have respect and have strength and do what he wants them to be talked about in a better light than they are now.
Right.
So yeah, you can definitely see that.
And just to keep after the meeting, and I guess we can get back to that, is where I'm like, oh, this is gonna blow up when Chicky and Vince met back in
yeah. So yeah, he goes to the airport. He has a gun in the holster. He gets detained. Obviously, they need to find out, who he is, why he has a gun. Is the gun legal? Blah 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 blah. So Vince goes to Atlanta without him. Dwight's already there with Goody, and Beverlock was there, waiting for Chicky and Vince.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Dwight.
But before Dwight left for Atlanta, what did he tell Tyson?
Oh yeah.
Keep your head on a swivel.
That's right. Keep your head on a swivel. Yeah, he did. He told Mitch. He called Mitch up, and he told. Oh wait, well I'm sorry. We got to backtrack again. So we always jump all over the place. Tina asked Dwight about having a gun, and
yes,
and then when Dwight called Mitch to have him get a gun for Tina, he told him to be careful, be on high alert, so forth. So Dwight knew the sit down might have gone the wrong way. Also, it wasn't. It was also not finalized, with what is going on.
Right.
So yeah, they got to keep their head on a swivel.
Yep.
So yeah, so he told them that. So Tyson's dad's truck broke down. So Tyson said, "Well, I'll drive you to your jobs. I'll drive you around there. I got nothing going on today." Dwight's in Atlanta. He calls Mitch. Says, "Mitch, bring Tina a gun. She wants to have a gun. Show her how to use it. Make sure she's safe and be on high alert." So they both know, be on high
Yep.
alert. They know what's going on. And then Dwight gets on the
Right.
plane to go to Atlanta. All right, so let's see here. So next stop is the sit down, right? I think was there something before
Well,
sit down?
Tyson, kind of like intermixed was the sit down and Tyson going on jobs with his dad.
True. Yes. Yeah, that kind of was flip flopping back and forth.
Yeah.
They were showing the sit down. They were showing Tyson and his dad were getting a little more, I don't know, I guess chummier, a little more better of the relationship, as opposed to the dad being so angry with what he was doing and so forth. So telling him how much he liked the car. He's like, I can get used to this, sitting back in that car. And, he's bringing him to the one stop, and the guy paid him in chili.
Yeah.
He tells him not everything's about money, and so yeah, that was going flip flopping there. And then it went flip flopped also, and it showed Mitch, who, in case we forgot who Mitch is, showed Mitch taking Tina to the barn area to shoot the gun. Now tell me if that's not a setup of something going to happen in the future.
Right. And that was the same bar. That was the same bar where Mitch and Dwight brought everyone from the weed shop to learn how to shoot in season 1.
Yeah, so that's that has something coming in the future. You can see that a mile away.
Yeah. Yeah, well the comment, that Dwight or that Mitch said to Dwight in the bar afterwards was thanks for taking my daughter, thanks for taking Tina to, oh, my pleasure. She's a beautiful woman. And Dwight just was like,
Dwight stopped.
Yeah, he's like, boom.
He stopped in his tracks. Come on, she's a pretty girl, like if somebody was going to get attracted to her, it'd rather be one of your guys, right? Than some, some schmutz. So, yeah, so that happened. He showed how to shoot a gun. They were kind of giggling about it. Tyson's going back and forth to some plumbing jobs. And Dwight's at the sit down.
There was a lot of stuff going on in this episode.
Yeah, there was. There was. Tyson's driving around with his dad, in case you forgot what his dad looks like. So they're having some good conversation in the car on the drives there, and they're having some good
bonding,
father-son time, good bonding time.
Absolutely.
So, and then let's see what happens. Oh, that's Tyson calls Dwight and tells Dwight that he wants to buy the Lincoln Navigator for his dad.
Right.
So he called him and told him that he wanted. He's like, well, why don't you just go to Donnie? Donnie will give you a good deal. And he's like, no, I want to give him this one.
Yeah.
Because he was just, remember he was sleeping in the passenger seat?
Oh, yeah.
He liked it so much. He loved that car.
He sure did.
So that happened there. And then, so anyways, let's talk about the sit down before we get into the bigger part of the episode.
Okay.
There was a brief part with Jimmy and Thresher.
Yeah.
About the product and the workers, which again, I'm telling you, Thresher's getting in trouble with this guy.
Oh yeah.
Thresher's not as tough as he thinks. I think.
Yeah, but the comment he made to Armand.
Is it Armand or is it Manny?
Well, it can be Manny or Armand.
I heard them call him Manny last week. So
yeah, it's Armand or I think Manny for short or something like that.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. Anyhow, he's like, I own you, because Manny Armand was like, I didn't sign up for this. I don't want any part of this. And he's like, no, you don't understand. I own you. And then
that's kind of annoying though. It's like you took $50,000 from this guy.
Yeah.
And you thought he wanted nothing in return.
Right.
Like he said, Thresher said to him, you thought I did this out of the goodness of my heart? Like, come on, you're not stupid. You're not a
No,
child.
no. And then is it a throwaway comment? Or was it something that he meant? This is what I was trying to read into, is when Thresher says, "I will skin you alive," meaning, have you done this before, or is it just a
Yeah, I don't
throwaway?
know. I mean, I think he was just trying to think of something very graphic and violent to get his attention. Maybe
Okay.
he has done it before. My thing with Thresher is that when Jimmy shot the people that stole from them, Thresher seemed very shooken by that.
Right.
And that's why I don't think he's as badass as he's portraying.
Right. Well, I got to tell you what, Neil McDonough is just freaking hands down. He's just a great actor.
Yeah, he is.
Love
Yeah,
him. Just love him.
he is. He's good. So yeah, so that happened there. The gun with Tina, the plumbing and the dad Tyson storyline. And like I said, then you get to the sit down. Now the sit down, in my opinion, was a big deal.
Oh yeah.
Vince came walking in. They asked where Chicky was. Vince told them he got held up at LaGuardia Airport with a gun, so he's not coming. And then Bevilacqua says right away, "So you could speak for the family?" And he goes, "Yeah."
But do you think, all right, you're the boss, and your underling, your worker, for lack of a better word, something happens to you. You're my boss, and we're going through, and something happens, you screw up. Do you think that you think you would want me telling somebody else what you did to screw up?
Right.
I was like, oh, that's a shot.
Yeah.
That's a shot.
Oh,
right
agreed.
there.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Yeah. Yeah. He did that. That was a little bit of a ding, I think. He wants to take out Chicky. He doesn't want Chicky around.
He
Whether
wants them to see or to perceive Chicky as weak, even weaker than what they're seeing.
Right. And they already
the guy goes to the airport with a gun, and he even said that when he got back,
Yeah.
So it was a dig. It's like boom right there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. You're right. And he wants, and by the way it seems, I mean, he said he's a captain. He doesn't seem like he's Chicky's right hand.
Mm-mm.
The other guy seems more like he's his right hand than not. So I'm not really even sure why he was going in the first place.
Well, because he's one of the one who kind of set it up, the meeting.
Yeah, true.
He was the one who kind of did the talking with Bevilacqua and then with Goody, and let's have a sit down. And
because Goody is the obvious. He's the right-handed Dwight.
Absolutely.
That's obvious. They both took the same oath. They both lived the same life, the same world. So, but with Chicky, I don't get that vision that one of them is more of a consigliere than the other.
Right.
So
right.
I don't know, but so they were talking about, I'm not giving you nothing, blah blah blah. You didn't even know Tulsa was around, and now all of a sudden I'm here. You want a part of it, and I like when Bevilacqua was telling him on how he wants his money and this and that. And Vince went to say something, and he's like, "Don't tell me to stop. Don't interrupt me or something." They don't respect that family at all. They don't respect him at all.
Okay, well, so I'm wondering while this is going on, because when Dwight does something, there's usually a purpose behind it, right?
Uh-huh.
It's not a meaningless act normally. And he orders the 2 milkshakes. And I'm like, what the hell is this about? I'm like, does the man really want a milkshake? I'm wondering where this milkshake thing is going. So continue.
Right. No, you're right. And then, so he orders the milkshake. They bring the milkshakes. They're going back and forth about Kansas City's owed money. Tulsa's never been around, at all. This is New York's problem. It has nothing to do with me. They're just going back and forth. And then Dwight kind of offers up an olive branch. I'll give you 15%. We're neighbors. Let's not fight. I'll give you 15% off the top. I'll give you a great deal on weed. And, Bevilacqua was like, all right, I can live with that. And what does New York get?
Ugachungul.
Nothing. And that was definitely done intentionally
Yeah.
where they got nothing.
Yeah. Hey,
My
what did he say? He's like, I did 25 years behind the wall for you guys. What
Yeah,
did I get? He goes,
exactly.
I got
Exactly. He got
shifted.
banished to Tulsa. They
Yep.
didn't think he was going to do anything.
Yep.
He wound up making something of it, and now you want a part of it?
Yeah.
No, no.
And then I was
So
like,
now
well, what?
Kansas City, he now Tyson Dwight bought for 15%. He bought distribution from Kansas City. Now he's even further removed from New York.
Yep.
I have two problems with the sit down. It came to a conclusion very quickly. It just seemed to all of a sudden it just gelled and it was done. And they got up, they walked away. What does New York get? Bevilacqua goes, you get the milkshakes.
Yeah, you get the 2 milkshakes.
Yeah, and Dwight's like both of them.
Yeah, both of them. Which then I'm like, now I get the underlying references.
Right?
Like, you're at the kiddie table.
Yeah, exactly. That's a
You know?
great way of putting it.
You're
Fantastic
at the
way
kiddie
of putting
table.
it.
But then when he's like, well, what's New York bringing to the table? And he's like, fake Zempic. Well, you're making fat people fatter.
He's like,
Boom.
I got fake Ozempic, that people like. He's like, it's a joke. I don't want, come on.
Yeah.
But the other problem I have with it is that the other scene they show Bevilacqua talking to his guy on how he wasn't thrilled with the deal and, this and that. Look, I've seen enough mob movies and that after the sit down, you're done.
Yeah.
You can't go back and go, wait a minute. I've been thinking that's not good enough. It's done. It's washed. It's over.
Well, to your point, what you said is it went after the initial, hatred or whatever, the spitfire,
anger,
animosity came out after the initial crap. Then it was like it gelled too fast. And then Bevilacqua, after, like you said, when he gets back home and he's loading up the dog food or what the hell he's loading up there, he's thinking about it. He's like, it was too easy. I got screwed somehow,
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, then why did you let it happen?
Right. Why'd you agree to it?
Yeah,
definitely. I agree.
You're the boss. Why did you agree to it?
Agreed. Yeah. So let's see. So then the elephant in the room. All right. You knew something was going to happen.
You know what? I was so caught up in all the stuff leading up to it. And then just before this, though, Thresher meets with Jackie and they're talking back and forth in the greenhouse. And he's like, he's like, what did he say? Something like, you deal with it. You don't go halfway, you go all the way, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
When you deal with your whatever. Like, I wish I could remember the exact wording, but it was like,
I remember what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. So I knew something was going to happen, but I was so caught up with everything leading up to that. I wasn't even until that scene.
Yeah. Yeah. So the scene they were talking about, Tyson's going around with his dad, driving him around he has a few plumbing jobs that day. His dad's truck broke down. Everything was just going so well. They were having a good rapport. They were bonding again. The father wasn't so angry that his son was doing what he was doing. Tyson wasn't so bitter against his dad. Yeah. Remember he was saying, like, you could teach me this stuff, and he's like, you could do anything you put your mind to. And,
that's right. That's right.
And then they get to the house. Mom's making dinner. He's talking about the chili that they were paid with to fix the one plumbing.
Yeah.
And then he gives the dad the Lincoln, hands him the keys, and they're tearing up. They hug each other and he goes outside to start it and goes to go for a ride and kaboom.
Yeah. Well, Tyson sees the white car.
Yeah. Oh, I apologize.
Wheel and take off.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a white little Prius or something that was following him around most of the day. And when he steps out of the front door, he sees the Prius speed off. And the dad gets in the seat. And before he could even say anything, it explodes.
Yeah. And he was just wailing, Daddy, Daddy. And I was screaming. broke
Oh, it
my
was
heart.
there was so much pain in that scream.
Yeah.
But now here we go with this. Did he die? Or is he in a coma? Is he on, hooked up to machines and he's, do you have to pull a plug? I mean, if he's not dead, I think that, he's going to be. I think what they'll do is they'll have him in a hospital, all hooked up, all banged up, looking whatever. And so Tyson could at least say goodbye or something, and then he'll go.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe, there was a pretty big explosion. I don't know.
Well, like a quote from Rocky 5, gonna be Mangles. He's gonna be pretty Mangles.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a big explosion.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like I said,
I
now
can't see
that
any
was,
surviving that.
and that was obviously meant for Tyson.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that right after the show. I'm like, boy, Tony, you are this close to that because you've been saying Tyson, and it was meant for him, but they got they got Tyson's dad.
Yeah, and now, like, are they going to really get him, or is now it's all hypersensitive where they're not going to get to him? Who knows?
But
I thought he was going to be the one to go. I did, and he would have been if they didn't have that day. So that's how it ended. That's how it ended, with the explosion, with Tyson screaming on the front lawn and the car in flames.
But that Dwight had immense respect for Tyson's dad.
Oh yeah.
So, and he has definitely, kind of like loves Tyson as a son now too.
Sure. Yeah.
And that the war is now on.
Oh,
whether he's alive or dead.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it doesn't matter. If he dies, if he dies, it's gonna be even worse.
Yeah.
But even if he lives, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, it's game on at this point.
I mean, because he came at the end of season 1. He had the bat and was in the bar with them side by side.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this is gonna be bad.
This is such a great show.
I'm hoping the show this coming Sunday opens with literally that. Like, I hope it doesn't go a little forward. Yeah, I hope it literally starts like he's screaming and then he goes to call Dwight, because that's going to be his first phone call.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't want to be like, fast forward to the future at the eulogy or something. I want right from the
explosion. I don't want the eulogy. I don't want the hospital. I don't want an ambulance there. I want Tyson on the lawn screaming and taking out his phone to call Dwight.
Yeah,
absolutely. And then take it from there. It's gonna be bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be okay. Now the other question: who do you think did it?
That's tough because
we have the players.
You know what? That's really tough because, the scene with.
Well, the scene not thrilled with the deal.
I'm sorry, you were just lagging there a little bit.
What was that?
I said you were lagging there a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. That's a tough call because the scene where Thresher and Jackie are talking kind of seemed like it took place later, after the white car had been following following them, Tyson and his dad around. So that conversation seems like it took place after the white car was following them, way before that conversation took place. So I don't know if it's Thresher or Jackie.
Oh, it's Jackie? I thought it was Jimmy.
Jackie. Yeah, Jackie.
I've been calling him Jimmy the whole show. He didn't correct me once.
But let sleeping dogs lie.
Oh, that's funny.
I know who the hell you're talking about anyway.
Yeah, I
know. My first inclination was it was Jackie.
Same.
That was my very first inclination. Same. But trying to think of the timeline, but that doesn't always mean everything either.
True.
On the timeline,
Yeah, I thought it was Jackie because I think he knows the pressure that Dwight can put on everything that's involving him and Thresher. And that's who I thought it was too. Yeah. I don't think it was Bevilacqua. I definitely don't think it was New York. They just, I don't know. I can't explain why I don't think it was them. So you got Thresher and Jackie. You know, Bevilacqua just came back from the meeting. I don't. It just doesn't make sense that he would set that up right now.
Yeah, and
He
why?
wasn't even he wasn't even that angry when he was complaining about the deal to warrant what happened.
Right, and you would have to expect that if that when that takes place, that would have had been put in motion the day before,
Right.
because they were off to the meeting and the white car was already following them first
Right.
thing in the morning.
Right.
So that
Right.
hit would have been already placed earlier.
Yeah.
And I don't think Bevilacqua did that.
No, same. I think it was Jackie as well.
I think it was either Jackie or Thresher. Unless
I
there's
think-
somebody new coming in.
I told you this a couple episodes ago. I think Jackie is going to wind up being the big bad. I think in the long run, at the end of the season or throughout the season, I could see Bevilacqua not really teaming up with Dwight, but he is providing security for the pay.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him not having a problem with Dwight anymore
Mm-hmm.
as much as he did. I could see him, working with him, so to speak. And I don't think Thresher's as tough as he acts. I think Jackie's going to wind up being the big bad.
You think Thresher will take Jackie, or you think Jackie will take Thresher out? You see that happening?
I think if it becomes that problematic, absolutely.
I think
if Jackie constantly talks to him about like the business and the proper way and being strong and strict and stuff, he's going to lose his patience.
Yeah. I think
just because he's a bigger name, Neil McDonough, than whoever's playing Jackie, doesn't mean he ain't going to get whacked.
Right. I really think that Jackie's going to take Thresher out later on down the road. So at some point.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So that's where it ended. Sunday night, just lack of a better term, with a bang. And we have Sunday to wait till we see what happened.
Yeah.
Where it goes from here. And I can tell you right now, it's going to be bad. Dwight is going to be holy Christ. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Like I said, I told you this. I said it's going to be Tyson or the sister. I had a feeling it might have leaning towards the sister because I think they see, okay, he's not super. I mean, he's kind of close with Mitch. That would have been my third guess.
Mm-hmm.
Bodie, I don't think they, whatever. The other guys, whatever. Bigfoot is tired muscle. They would never go after the daughter. It would have to be like really extreme for that to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It makes sense that it was either Tyson or his sister, but
okay,
we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. You were
I don't know.
You're on the red line of the bullseye rather than in the bullseye.
Yeah.
I hit the
what
number 9.
What do you think Dwight's going to do? They're going to go. They're going to go to war.
Oh yeah, the retaliation. This is going to get ugly.
Obviously, they need to find out first who. They can't assume.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a completely blindside, and it could wind up being Chicky that did it.
True.
That because New York came back with nothing, and Dwight kind of just controlled the meeting. He's like, frig them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
But again, the timeline goes into play that car was following them.
Yeah.
Prior.
As always, something slides in is very well written.
Mm-hmm.
Has us wondering and guessing, and who knows? So we'll see.
Oh, Taylor Sheridan. I mean, with Tulsa King and then Yellowstone, and I saw, and I wish I had written it down because my memory is now about this big. Taylor Sheridan's got another show.
Oh, Jesus.
I
can't handle more.
He's got and it looks good. I want to say I can't remember exactly, but it looked. I saw a preview of it. And I was like, oh my God. It seems like whatever Taylor Sheridan's touching these days is turning to gold.
It is. When is the new Yellowstone coming out? It's November, right? Middle of November?
I think so.
It's season 5, part 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
think it's
I
like
don't know if Costner was coming back for it or not. Last I heard, he was not in that.
no, Costner's in this. He didn't continue moving forward. Now, how many episodes he's in this, I don't know.
Okay,
But he's
because
not going to be in them after this collection of episodes, however
okay,
many there are, 5, 10, whatever. So, I mean, he might get killed. Who knows? Just to get him out
because
of there.
they were tapping Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, but I think that's for a like a another show, but it's not a prequel, not a sequel. It's kind of like just linear to Yellowstone.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of. That
But again, who knows? I mean, there's so much between talk and speculation, and every fan knows what's going on. Who knows?
yeah.
So, all righty. So we have to wait till Sunday to find out more details about the next episode. Again, we have it right down there on the bottom of the screen. Right down there.
Yes,
Okay.
there it is.
Spoiler alert. So don't watch. But anyway.
I was just looking. I'm sorry. I was looking at Mayor of Kingstown. Was that it?
No, that's actually really good. That's with oh my goodness, the guy that played Hawkeye in Marvel.
I know who you're talking about.
That's a really good show.
Is it?
Yeah, really good.
Maybe Landman. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, it looks good.
All right, so the second part of our show is another backstory show.
You know what I got to do, Tony? Is I got to post it, and I'm just gonna have to like stick it to my forehead. So if I see something, I got to write it down.
I'm telling you, I'd have Post-its everywhere. All these posters,
Post-its.
That's what we have.
Oh my god,
it's crazy.
Did they make a pill for this?
They should.
Oh wait, I don't know. I'll just watch the evening TV. There'll be all kinds of commercials for it, right?
Oh Jesus! Don't get us started again. All right. Got us all worked up last time. Backstory. Who's our backstory this week?
We are doing Duke Evers.
Tony Duke Evers, the trainer of Apollo, the trainer of Rocky. And as always, you're going to go first.
I get to go first again? You don't want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah, I like hearing your stories.
Yeah. Daddy, tell me a story. Okay. So Tony Duke Evers was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan with his mom and his dad. His mom and dad both worked for the automotive industry at the Chrysler plant. Detroit was a big automotive area.
Manufacturer, yep.
Thank you. Tony was a skinny little boy, got good grades, and had lots of friends. As with any large city, gangs and peer pressure started, and upon seeing this, because he was kind of a latchkey kid, his parents decided to have him go to the local YMCA to keep him out of trouble, and then he eventually started taking boxing lessons there. So that he had something to do and someplace to go while they were still at work. There he is. He took to it like a fish in water. His quickness and toughness helped him grow through the ranks. He had a pretty good career as a boxer, holding a couple of belts for a while, and he achieved moderate success. Boxing as a professional is hard, and he saw how other boxers were faring in their later years and decided to stop boxing while he was ahead of the game and still had his wits about him and start to manage. Tony had kept an eye on an up-and-coming athlete named Apollo Creed and watched him come up through the Olympics and as a rising star. And they met at earlier matches because Tony was just kind of drawn to this kid. After Apollo went pro, and he immediately sought out Tony to be his manager now that he was in the big leagues. Tony, knowing the business, obviously said, yes, I will take care of you, and I will make sure we do this right. Tony was always there for Apollo and took him to the heavyweight championship and to many title defenses. Up to, and that brings me to Rocky.
Right.
So that's
So
my
Macklin Green break his hand.
Yep. That's my.
There you go. There you go. Well, I mean, it's as always different than mine. You know, mine are always
I'm not
different.
Nick. I'm not
I
a
had to
Nicholas
wear,
Sparks. I am not a
no,
Nicholas.
you have good stuff. No, you have good stuff. I mean, you have better stuff than I have.
No,
No, I wrote it down where what's that?
No, I think you have, Tony. You got great stuff, man. I love you, man.
I had it where Tony was a military brat. His dad
wow.
was in the military.
Okay.
They lived down in San Diego, then the Navy base, and he got his dad was a boxer for the military. He fought in the Navy and had a decent record, but had no intentions of pursuing that. But he always had Tony helping him with towels and buckets and wrapping and so forth and so on.
Okay.
Got transferred up to Seal Beach, California, which is right outside of LA. And so he went up there, did the same thing up there. He was stopped fighting, though. He didn't want to fight anymore and asked his dad if he could train him on how to fight, not just hand you a towel and wrap your hands.
Mm-hmm.
So he said he kind of really didn't have time for that, being that he's in the military and, he's on base. He can't go doing stuff like that. Recommended he, why don't we open a gym and why don't we go to the local gym that's run by a gentleman that I know whose name is Zeus Creed. And the gym is in LA and young Apollo is there. Their age difference is, I would say, maybe 5 or 6 years.
See,
Apollo and Duke.
That's where I couldn't get I was having a hard time wrapping my brain around.
Actually,
that age.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, 5 or 6 years, maybe even 10. I mean, you got to remember in Rocky IV, when he said Apollo died, I helped raise him. Yeah. Obviously, he needed to be considerably older to help raise him. So I couldn't really come up on an age where I think he would be older than Apollo, but he wanted to go. Let's just say he was 20 years old and he wanted to go to the gym where Zeus owned and Apollo was training.
Mm-hmm.
Say Apollo was 10. So I mean, it's 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a 20-year-old could raise a 10-year-old, and that's where, and then of course the gym gets robbed and Apollo's parents, Zeus and the mother, get killed.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, and then he takes over the gym, takes over training Apollo. Apollo at times was very combatant about trying to train with somebody other than his dad. But as Duke has a way of convincing you and talking to you and telling you and bringing out the inner strength. And the same thing, almost, that's where the same thing after that is similar to yours. He took Apollo to the Golden Gloves. They started training for the Olympics together.
Mm-hmm.
They started having little local bouts and then national bouts. And, Duke was with them the whole way after his parents died and definitely became a father figure and a trainer. And then, of course, like you said, winning the title and leading up to Rocky. So yeah, the long and short of it is the backstory is he had a military upbringing. He was a military brat. He lived in San Diego, California. They went up to like Seal Beach, California, outside of LA. Couldn't really train with dad because dad was on base. Wasn't like he could really be there.
Right.
So that's when dad's recommended to go to Zeus's place and go train at his gym.
Right.
Took it from there. So,
yeah. There's some similarities in there. There's some similarities in there.
I didn't want to do the whole parents died again. Like I did.
Yeah.
I think I did it to Apollo, and I did it to Gazzo. The father died. Remember, he got killed during a pickup or something. And then and I did it to Adrian and Paulie.
Yeah.
I forgot I did it to them too. So
yeah.
So I don't want to keep killing the parents off.
That's why I didn't want that's why I wanted his parents, Tony's parents to kind of, raise them. They were blue collar workers and working in the automotive industry, and
I mean, by the way he acts in the Rocky films, you could tell if he was a real real person. You could tell he wasn't a punk. He wasn't mouthy. He wasn't.
right.
You could tell he was raised with manners and respect and hard work and stuff like that. So that's where I was thinking of that. So yeah,
no, I agree.
Again, we just have fun with these backstories, guys. You could email us a completely different backstory. I know Ryan emails us he puts them into AI and they punch out a whole thing. We just got one on Apollo from him. I'll send that over to you.
Yeah, I gotta see
it's
that.
So cool. The computer just creates it.
Yeah, the one that he did, I didn't get to see the one for Apollo yet, but the one that we did.
He just sent the one for Apollo like a day or two ago.
Okay, the one we did, Adrian and Paulie, and he did those stories. I mean, wow! I was completely.
Yeah.
I like.
Well,
I think I texted.
He puts it into a computer program, Chat GBT, which is an AI program, and he basically puts like, Paulie, or whatever, Tony Duke, Evers, boxing trainer of Apollo Creed from the Rocky movies, give me his earlier backstory, and then it just spits it out. It's crazy.
See, I had no idea about any of that stuff. I didn't even know that stuff existed. But so when I read it, I'm reading this and I'm just like, this guy wrote this? And I texted you, I'm like, damn, this guy misses calling. He should be an author.
I know, right? No, I mean, I'm sure he writes good. I don't know if he writes good or not, but no, that's from a computer.
Well, whoever wrote the story, man, they give Nicholas Sparks a run for their money.
I'm telling you, it's a computer program. I did something. I made a children's book about a while ago, about a year and a half ago, when one of the hurricanes came. It blew up some flamingos from down in the Keys. Like they were flying away from the hurricane and got caught up in the winds or some crap, and they wound up landing over here by us on this beach. We don't have flamingos on these beaches.
Oh, no kidding.
And so I wrote a story about this flamingo that wound up like trying to go home, and he got blew off. But all I did was put all of those facts I just told you into that kind of computer program. And I said, flamingo flying home, got lost his way, wound up getting back home by help of his other sea family people. And, and it comes up like Manny the manatee took him ashore and like did this to him. And Donnie the dolphin wound up helping him find his way over to the Keys, and this whole big elaborate story. I'm like, oh my God.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's gotta be crazy, for teachers to give a project about writing. And I'm sure a lot of it is, AI, but
that. I mean,
anyway, but yeah, I'll forward you that email when we get off screen here.
Yeah, but now, I mean, you want to take that one step further. I mean, now with teachers trying to grade this stuff, they're like, holy cow, little Jimmy, you're you're the next little Shakespeare,
John Grisham.
But then you take it one more step further, and you take your book here, like I got my book I wrote. Actually, AI wrote it, but they don't know that. And
it's crazy.
You take it to the editor or some, editing house, and like, oh yeah, that's great. I mean, how do you distinguish?
How do you know? I don't know. I'm sure there's a way, probably. I guarantee you there's some way that if you feed in that story to another computer program, it probably tells you you'll probably be able to tell somehow that it's computer generated.
Okay. That's way above my pay grade.
Oh, same here. Same here. So, all right, everyone. Well, as always, down in the comments, down there.
Please follow, like,
share, subscribe, say happy birthday.
Whatever you guys do, I don't know.
Let us know any more backstories you want us to do. Let us know some thoughts on the Tulsa King episode. What's going to happen to Tyson's dad? What's going to happen because of Tyson's dad? Who do you think is going to be the next person to get whacked if it's not Tyson's dad? So, leave us that. Let us know. Otherwise, we'll see everybody next week. Same bat time.
Same bat channel.
Until then, thanks for watching.
Hasta la salsa, baby.